Greetings, CATDC. Today I'm talking to Liza Gleason, who is one of the fabulous coaches as part of our new coaching arm with CATDC. So you may not know about this, but there is a great line of coaches available to come into your school and work with your educators. A series of 4 sessions is what we're suggesting, what we have on offer. Liza, can you talk a little bit about the benefits of coaching?
So I was a teacher for a very long time, more than 20 years, and I never had a coach. And now looking back at my teaching career, I can think of so many different places within that span of teaching that coaching could have benefited me. I think sometimes we think of coaching as it's something for new teachers, which it absolutely can be. New teachers have so much to manage, whether you're a new teacher to independent schools or you're new to teaching or both. But I think coaching can actually work beautifully for teachers who are more experienced, who want to examine a certain part of their practice that they've been thinking about. It can really be an amazing way to dig deep into those kind of questions that lurk around that you never seem to get to because you have your to-do list. And what I love about coaching is that the coach and the coachee get to decide together what is the sort of kernel that they want to focus on. And of course, there's lots of latitude within that and you don't have to stick with one thing, but you get to create together really the focus of your work together. And every coaching relationship, because of that, is really different and unique and special. It really becomes about the relationship and the trust that you build. So I find it incredibly rewarding. And I've seen teachers grow in all different parts of their practice. Like I said, new teachers, teachers who've been teaching for a long time, who can get really reinvigorated about something in their practice through digging in through coaching. So I just think like the limitless opportunities is one of the best things about it. It's what makes being a coach so fun because every conversation and relationship evolves differently. It's just something really special. And in my mind, I think everybody should have a coach. There's a really great I think it's a TED talk by Atul Gawande talking about coaching in his own practice as a surgeon, and all of the things that coaching was able to shed light on in his surgical practice that he didn't even realize. And I think that's one of the things that coaching can do too. It can really shine a light on aspects of your practice that you didn't even know needed the light.
Liza, can you also just talk about the non-evaluative aspect of coaching that's so critical?
I think that teaching is incredibly vulnerable, even if you've been teaching for years and years. When you have someone kind of helping you examine your practice, whether it's through an observation or just through talking through what you're doing in your classroom, it is really vulnerable work. And when you are being observed by a supervisor or even just having a conversation with your supervisor, no matter how wonderful that relationship is, there's still that element of supervision and performance, right? That comes up whenever we know that we're being observed in some capacity that relates to our job. So one of the things that's so wonderful about coaching is that it really is just support, right? And so there's a safety in that about asking questions, about opening up, about challenges, because you know that at the end of the day, that person is really just there for you, your personal cheerleader, helping you figure out some aspect of your practice that you've been wondering about, or maybe even something really challenging that you're a little nervous to expose to the powers that be. So I think that piece of it is incredibly, cannot be undervalued. It's so incredible to have that, and something that I think all teachers can really benefit from.
So, Liza, what about the really critical work around identity that we are forefronting so much in our schools these days, and for good reason?
Yeah, that makes me think about the coaching that we did after Equity's Excellence in 2020 and how we had some coaching partnerships that came from that workshop. And so that was really grounded in equity practices that the teachers had learned about at that conference. And so it was a really nice intro into talking with teachers about their own identity. For example, there were white teachers that did that coaching and really got to examine their racial identity and how it was showing up for them in their teaching.
Mhm.
And I think, for schools, that kind of deep work is often there's just not time for it, and our schools aren't set up for that. And so coaching can really bring an opportunity for deeper sort of identity of or examination of our own identity and how that shows up in our teaching practices that can be really instrumental in changing our practices and just altering one little thing that can make a huge difference for our students. So I think that's a really special part of coaching.
Thank you, Liza. And we're so excited to have you as part of our coaching team. And if you're a school leader in particular, and you're thinking about your faculty, who could benefit from this kind of one-on-one work? Well, everyone could. So we hope you'll take a look at our coaching offerings at CATDC and join us for this really important and transformative practice. Thanks again, Liza.
Thanks, Lisa.